Well, greetings everybody. The response to the Injustice arcade cabinet has been overwhelming. So I figured it'd be interesting for all of you guys out there who enjoyed the project here to show it off as far as how it operates and how everything works. And it's pretty much basically the same way I did MK9. You can see here MK9 and the Injustice cabinet. I actually have all of the Mortal Kombats and pretty much all of the 90s Midway and Atari fighters. Down the row over here we have MK1, MK2, MK3, MK4, MK9, Injustice, War Gods. Then I also have Mace the Dark Age and WrestleMania and Killer Instinct 1 and Killer Instinct 2, and that's pretty much all of them that I have as far as the fighters. I have 32 arcade machines in total, but I'm not going to go through all those. This is just a video showcasing the Injustice and the MK9. So, as I mentioned, they're both pretty much basically the same as far as the internals. They both have a 24.8-inch tri-mode Macvision monitor that's running off a VGA input, and they both run off the PS3 platform of the games. The PS3 is outputting the component video to a converter that converts the component video to VGA, which the tri-mode Macvision monitors will accept. So they actually have real arcade monitors in the machines and not LCDs, as a lot of people end up using. But that's pretty much because that's their only option on hand is the LCDs, because those are about less than half price of these Macvisions. These Macvisions brand new run on close to $500 a piece, but I actually happen to have 4 of them, because they used to be in all 4 of my MK machines, and I ended up putting regular CRTs back in there as opposed to these flat screen tri-mode Macvisions. But well, these are CRTs also, but these are flat screen, and they're 24.8 inches as opposed to the 25-inch curved original CRTs from that were on these machines originally. So anyway, that's the screens are tri-mode monitors, and they're basically receiving a VGA signal from a conversion board that's converting the component video from the output of the PS3s, and that's how everything's wired up as far as for the display. And all the artwork is custom, of course. This is all stuff that I made up myself, and it fits the overall cabinet quite nicely. And these are actual original Midway factory cabinets. The MK9 was a Mortal Kombat 4 that I converted to MK9 here, obviously. Then the Injustice cabinet, I don't know what cabinet this was originally. This was converted by an operator a number of years ago to a game called Egg Venture. I found this cabinet in a local warehouse and bought it and used it to convert to Injustice. So a little bit of backstory on it. But the controls for the Injustice cabinet are 2 Mortal Kombat 9 fight sticks that I just took all the guts out and swapped them over to this control panel. And the MK9 is a little bit of a different story, because this is not just MK9 that I have set up to play on this machine. The PS3 inside is one of the old backwards compatible PS3s that I used, so I can actually play all of the original Mortal Kombat 2 releases, all the home console games from Deadly Alliance all the way up through Annihilation, including, I'm sorry, not Annihilation, that's the movie, Armageddon. From Deception through Armageddon I can play on this machine as well. Also, you know, Mortal Kombat Trilogy and the PS1 version of MK4 if I ever wanted to do that. So because this is actually a setup to run more than just MK9, I ended up having to put a PS button in here. This is a PS button, and then I have a select button over here. And I don't have anything like that on the Injustice cabinet because I wanted to keep it as close to arcade authentic looking as possible. But I had to put a select button on here. Let me go back here. Over here I have a PS button on this setup as well, but the PS button is actually right there. So I can access the PlayStation menu through that PS button. I wanted to keep it off the control panel to keep this looking as original as possible, or arcade authentic as possible. But the MK9 cabinet, I had to put a select button here because Mortal Kombat Arcade Collection uses a select button to escape out of the game. If you're playing, for instance, MK1 and you want to change to MK2, the only way to do that is to press a select button. So I had to add a select button, and to counterbalance the location of the select button, I went ahead and just put the PS button over here too. So it balances out the layout. And then of course I had to add an R1 button because most of the home console games, the PS2 versions of MK, use the R1 button for throwing and things like that. Now you can reconfigure the controls, but MK9 you don't need the R1 button, but for some of the PS2 versions of the MK games you do need the R1 button. So I added the R1 button, but there's no L2, there's no L2 button. So that's the reason behind this extra button here that most people don't usually have on their MK fight sticks. They just have the 5 regular buttons and then the L1. So I had to add the R1 to balance out the other MK games. But these controls are actually, this is a gutted and hacked PS3 controller. The normal standard wireless PS3 controller, I actually had to hack that and use that for player 1 controls. And player 2 controls are a hacked wired PS2 controller. And the reason I had to do that, I have a little converter here. Oh, the PS3s are mounted right here on the coin box. But I have a little deal here that will convert the PS2 controller to a USB that I plug into the front of the PS3. And this is the only way I can do this to be able to play PS2 games. While I have this open here, here's the volume control. It's just, you know, a scroll wheel for up and down and a power, so that's how I control volume. And it's just a pair of a piece. It's a PC computer setup with 2.1 where it has a subwoofer and 2 speakers. I just cut the wires for the speakers and ran them to the actual cabinet speakers. So that's how the audio is set up for both of these. It's identical. But I had to use a PS2 controller, a hacked PS2 controller for player 2 and a hacked PS3 controller for player 1, because the MK fight sticks do not work with PlayStation 2 games. If I try and load a PS2 game, it'll say press the PS button, and I try and press the PS button with the fight sticks and it won't connect. So I had to use a PS2 controller for player 2 and a hacked PS3 controller for player 1 because that's the only way I could get this to interface with the PS2 games to be able to play those. So a little bit of a long story long there, but anyway, so let's get to it. Now that that's a bit explained, they turn on like any other normal arcade machine. There's a switch back there. You flip that switch and it turns on the marquee, the coin door lights, the monitor, and the power strip inside to turn everything on. All you have to do is flip that switch up top, open the coin door, and turn on the PS3. So let me go ahead and get the camera set up, and then I'll show you, we'll start up MK9 first and go through that and show you how it all operates. Then we'll play a round or two on MK9. Then we'll turn on the Injustice and we'll play a round or two on that. So let's see here. Alrighty. Let's see if I can do this here. There we go. Okay, everything turns on but the PS3. So I have to open the coin door and press the power button on the PS3 and it should come up. There you go. So I'm going to go ahead and kill the light here. That's better. And like normal PS3, the controls won't work until I press the PS button. Now the control should work. There you go. I go down here to the game list, select Mortal Kombat. There we go. And that's all you have to do. And of course, to turn the system off, you press the PS button, quit the game, go over to turn off system, and you turn the system off. Wait for it to shut down, flip the switch up top, and the machine is off. Let me set this up a bit closer here so you can see a bit better. Alright. Alright, so there's MK9. I'm going to turn the volume down. And we'll move on over here to Injustice. And it's the same thing. The switch up top. And the system turns on. Except the PS3, you got to open the coin door, press the power button. You can hear the monitor searching for a sync signal. There it goes. Once it picks up a sync signal from the converter, I guess I can probably leave the light on for this one. We'll see how it looks here. Injustice, Gods Among Us. Kill this one. Sorry if the camera goes in and out of focus, it does that for some reason. It'll come back here. There we go. And I'll go ahead and kill the light. Make it easier to see. There we go.
Harley Quinn, Lex Luthor.
Must I remind you of my superiority?
Begin.
It's done. Call a meeting of the board. Project Source. And arrange pickup of the suit. Each turn.
I never claimed to be any good at this game, so sorry about that, but we get the general idea there. That's how these things operate. So they're fun for what they are. And again, to turn them off, I press the PS button up here. And then quit game. Yep. Same thing here, press PS button. Quit game. Yep. Once it goes back to the PS menu, we go over to turn off system. Yep. And then we get no signal because the PS3 is turned off. I flip the switch up top and the system turns off. Same thing over here. There we go. All right. So a little bit more in-depth detail on how these operate, because I'm sure some of you probably wanted to know. And I did make up my own personalized custom bezel work there. So if there's any characters that I'm unfamiliar with, or anybody I'm playing with is unfamiliar, you can see all the characters and all their moves. These are just basic moves because I can't fit everything that they're capable of doing on this bezel. So these are all just specials and basic moves, things like that. So, you know, how to do a super move, flip stance and throw and interact and meter burns and a general key for what everything does. And MK9 is a little less sophisticated. You know, there's no borders or fancy things like that. It's just the individual characters and their moves and what buttons to press. But so there they are, guys. You know, feel free to let me know what you think, and it's fun times with these things. So I'll go ahead and tell you right now, I do plan on doing a Mortal Kombat 10 as well. I need to source another cabinet. I don't know where I'm going to put it, but hopefully I will have some room or figure out something. Because I got 2 of the rooms in there with more machines and pinball machines, and I don't have any other room for another machine. So it is what it is. I will get that done, so stay tuned for that at some point. You know, when the game is released and I get a cabinet and get the means and the ability to get all that done. So otherwise, again, yeah, stay tuned, and thanks for watching, and I appreciate the interest.